here, located in Columbus, Ohio. You may know me as a protester. Some would say an activist, but I wouldn't quite label it an activist, more so like a passionate person. What I wanted to come on here to share was a personal experience a few months ago. I want to say it was in February or maybe mid January, and it was a doctor's appointment for a physical. Um, just like a regular physical checkup. So let me go ahead and just jump right into it. The reason why I felt compelled to share this is because a lot of these people that are in professional positions, when they're paid money by, let's say, maybe a government system or a boss, or they're given favors like promotions and things of that such, or maybe even false information regarding a patient, they're more likely to do things outside of their character. And this is what I experienced at that location. So I had my appointment scheduled, and my appointment was scheduled like months prior before I actually went. I made it to my appointment on time, but I had left to go. I want to say I took the elevator upstairs to check in with my dentist to see, when, no, I think to check in for my glasses to see when that appointment was. Or no, I think I was picking up my glasses. I can't remember, but I was dealing with something with glasses. And it literally took me like 2 minutes. And then, like, I went back downstairs and the lady was just like, "Oh, you was upstairs, da da da." And I was just like, I'm on time. Like, I came back down and I'm on time. I made it early to my appointment and I'm on time. And whatever. Long story short, I went in there. I sat down, waiting and everything. The doctor comes out, and I requested an African American doctor because of the racism I experienced at Nationwide Children's Hospital back in 2018. So I requested specifically for an African American medical professional. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll have a better experience with that medical professional. And I'm just gonna say this: I don't believe it was an organic situation because of the circumstances of the nature of my situation. To my knowledge, based on the research that I've done, um, like people who are victims of group surveillance or like a neighborhood watch. You can also call it like community stalking is another term. But people who have experienced this or are victims to crimes and predatory behavior like this, these are the experiences that they typically go through. And she was like, I have another appointment. I gotta go to my appointment. And she was just so mean, you guys, so mean. She was like, you went upstairs, and I was like, okay, but I came on time. I'm back downstairs exactly on time. And she was like, oh, well, I gotta go to my appointment. My appointment was scheduled today. And I'm like, and I'm quiet and I'm in disbelief because at this point I feel like I was being gaslighted, and my better instinct was just like, don't respond, don't react, just let her talk. And that's exactly what I did. So she just continued to rant about how she had an appointment scheduled on the same day as my appointment, and that I was being like it was I was being like a complicated patient because I had my appointment scheduled on the same day as her. And I went upstairs to go grab my glasses and come back downstairs, and even though I came to my appointment on time, she's not happy with me because she doesn't want to work and she wants to go to her appointment. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with me being on the government watch list, but what I can say is that that is a form of medical malpractice. And she was an African American doctor, and I'm gonna get her name because I'm gonna redo another video, and I'm gonna start exposing people, and I gotta start recording people because these are the things that need to be exposed, and I don't care if they sue me, I don't care anymore because these people need to be exposed. Like, I'm gonna try to get a picture of this doctor. I'm definitely gonna get her name, and I'm gonna make another video and post it. But I want to go on to say is that I remain humble through the entire experience. Then they went on and sent me. They gave me an apology. They offered to accommodate me with transportation, and they sent in a Caucasian woman to do the physical. Not that I have a problem with that, but what I do have a problem is when I'm forced to be in a situation that doesn't make me feel comfortable. I'm not saying that I'm racist, but what I am going to say is that based on the experience that I had at Nationwide Children's Hospital in 2018, and I can go into detail about that, and I will one of these days, but I would have to write everything out and make sure I can articulate myself to the best of my ability because corporations, organizations, companies, businesses like that, as soon as you start talking about things that they did wrong, then you're a liability, and then they want to say, "Oh, that person's delusional," or "We're going to sue them," or you know what I mean. So I have to be very careful. But this was a real life experience that I had there. So it was a traumatic because of the trauma. Moving forward, I did not want to work with another Caucasian medical professional. And that's just it. I'm not saying that since then I have not. Of course I have. I mean, we live in a world where there's so many people, and I live in a predominantly white community the year prior, and I didn't really have an option to see anyone else. So I had to just accept help where it was given. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna deny help. I mean, if I need help, I'm gonna accept the help. And they did a wonderful job at Avita. Wonderful job. You know what? Honestly, I give them 10 star at Avita. They get 10 star. 10 fucking star. Great hospital. Anyways, moving forward, but I just wanted an African American doctor because I am an African American woman and I want someone who is able to understand me cultural wise and like there's a lot of differences within the African American culture and traditions compared to other ethnic backgrounds. So that was very important to me as well. I wanted to make sure that someone who understood me was able to help me or support me. And unfortunately, that's not the kind of treatment that I received at that medical practice facility. Um, and I wanted to expose that doctor because she was very unprofessional. She was rude. Her behavior was distasteful, and I believe that she should have been suspended for work for medical malpractice, honestly. Not her license stripped. I mean, God forbid, let's say I did have an underlying medical condition and this was an urgent need, then I probably could have sued her. You know what I mean? But fortunately enough, it wasn't one of those situations. I didn't want it to be one of those situations, still don't. But it's just like I don't want her license to be taken, but I do feel like people who do things like that to just anyone, they need to be held accountable. And I truthfully believe that she should have been suspended because of her lack of empathy, her lack of professionalism, her lack of respect, and not caring, Just I've never experienced anything like that from an African American woman that works at a medical practice facility. Never. So I was very disappointed with them. I don't know why she treated me like that. And she did this in front of my kids. She was very argumentative. She was very loud. Believe it or not, I can match her energy. I can match her energy. You hear me? But I didn't. I just didn't have the time that day. I'm just looking at her crazy like you're gaslighting me. Like legit felt like I was being gaslighted. I felt like it was low key intentional. That's why I was kind of like stuck. I was puzzled as fuck. I was like, this doesn't even make sense right now. It wasn't like registering in my brain. Like it didn't make sense. I was like, what is wrong with this? How are you? You're a doctor? People like that, they don't need to be doctors. They don't need to be doctors. She does not need to be a doctor. Oh Lord, I'm gonna get her name and I'm gonna make another video and I'm gonna go into detail. I'm gonna try to remember every freaking detail from that situation. But as far as right now, all I can remember is yeah, I went in. She told me even though I made it on time, she had an appointment scheduled the same day as me, and she basically just turned it into an art in an aggressive and very uncomfortable environment because she chose to be selfish and instead of being professional and rescheduling me in advance for another day, she decided to wait till the day of to try to turn me away. And I just ew, like you don't need to be a doctor. So I think what I'm gonna do, I was just thinking about it now because there's a lot of things I need to start handling, and that's one of them. I want to actually write a letter to the board, the health board, regarding that experience, because I do feel like she needs to be held accountable. I'm gonna expose her on her reviews online. I'm gonna probably reach out to the Better Business Bureau, because experiences like that, you don't forget them. They're traumatic instant like situations. I'm going there to get medical help. I don't remember the last time I have had a physical. I'm a single mom of 4 kids. I'm always busy. I almost died the year prior, and I was sick. I've had gestational diabetes in the past, and so it was really important for me to go to that appointment, because I'm just like, I want to be ensure that I get an evaluation done, and that I get some blood work done, and that I am healthy, and I am in a fit condition, and I don't have to worry. And if there are any concerns, I can address those concerns and start, doing things to get help. And but by the grace of God, there was another person that came in. She did the physical, like I mentioned earlier, and my results came back. I was told that they were remarkable, so that's a plus. But for some reason, they didn't get my diabetes test back. They got my heart disease test back, and it came back perfect. The diabetes, I wasn't too concerned about at all, but it was just weird how I got the test done. They drew blood, and they want me to go back to take more blood from me and pee, so that way they can get this test done. Like, why are you guys always putting you're so disorganized with the blood specimens and the urine samples, and you're not doing work? Like, the medical facility is just so unprofessional and unorganized. Like, I was in disbelief at that point. I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to be here, but because I like literally don't even have a choice, because the limited, like, in location wise from where I'm at, like the west side of Columbus is terrible. It's unsafe. It's disgusting. The north side is hood as fuck. East side is diverse. So it's a perfect fit for a single mother of 4 kids who doesn't have a vehicle, and that travels through public transportation, especially since I got toddlers. So I just wanted to share that experience, because I don't know if anyone else has experienced the same thing at that location. In the past, I've had great experiences there, so it was very unusual that she treated me like that. But I felt compelled after thinking about it today, because it did come into my memory, and I was just like, let me go ahead and share that before I lose it, because these are the things that are important for people to know. God forbid anything happens to me, like, when I say God forbid anything happens to me, I'm speaking regarding to, like, corruption within the system, and me being placed on a government watch list, or neighborhood, like like I mentioned earlier, like neighborhood watch. It is like a neighborhood watch, but it's like a neighborhood watch gone rogue, where these predators in training are participating in criminal behavior, and it's getting covered up. Um, and that's not okay. There are women who are victims of being illegally stalked, and these women are being raped. Not only being raped, but they're also having things stolen, material and items, and even money stolen from them. Their vehicles are being vandalized, homes are being vandalized. I mean, the list goes on, and I wish I was making it up, but may God strike me down if I'm lying. If you guys do your research and you look up the testimonies of other victims who've experienced being targeted, then you'll see for yourself what it really is. Because I don't believe that when people choose to participate in this illegal surveillance program, that they realize to what extent these criminal behaviors, to what extent it really is. It's not just we're watching this person. It's like we're watching this person, but if a cop likes you and you're an attractive person, then if I can get away with assaulting you, I'm gonna do it. So a lot of them, they go rogue, and they take advantage of the position that is granted to them, and they commit these criminal acts, and nothing is being done about this. I don't understand how this is justified. I do believe that these predators need to be held accountable. And someone needs to speak up about it. There's not enough people talking about it. There's not enough people that have courage to talk about it. I believe that there is a lot of people who even suffer that don't want to participate, but don't have a choice because what? They're going to lose their job. Like, and for an example, like maybe some people in the police department, I don't believe everyone is in the police department and everyone in the hospital is evil. I don't believe that. But I do believe that some of them by force, like if the government system or if the FBI calls and say, hey, there's a person who's on the government watch list, you need to be careful for this person. This person's a troublemaker. When she comes or he comes, we're going to need you to maneuver like this in very specific ways that conditions the target to be able to be aware that they're being surveilled. And I hope that's clear enough, but I'll go into detail on another video. I wanted to share that because that was important to me, and I want to make sure that I don't allow these kind of things to continue and and affect me, in a way where they feel like I'm going to be silenced. I promise I will never be silenced to the day I am unalive. Like, I will never, I don't care what happens in my life. One thing I promise and vow to myself and promise and vow to my children and promise and vow to my family, my bloodline, is that I will never stay silent. A criminal act is a criminal act, whether it's a medical professional, a police officer, a government system committing it. Even if the government system say, well, it's confirmed, we needed it because of this. No, our Constitution still stands, and due process is supposed to be given to every person in the United States of America. But to deny someone due process, it is illegal. And to assassinate the character of an innocent person is disgusting and illegal. It's called defamation of character. And a lot of the times, that's exactly what's happening. And I'm not claiming to be a saint. I'm not claiming to say that I've never made mistakes before. But what I will say is that I've been a victim of this crime. I want to say, to my knowledge, from as far as I can remember, started in 2014. And just took off from there. It just took off from there. I've been a victim for it for a long, long, long time. A long time. But I wanted to share that. And I think that's pretty much it. When I can think of anything else to come and share with you guys, I will. I'm going to take some time out to continue on taking notes and gathering up information and for my documentary, because that's really important to me now that I think about it. I'm like, oh, okay, let me get this documentary done. Because maybe if I do this documentary, this would be a good chance to spread awareness of like the realness of how these programs are designed and the real criminal acts that's being done behind it. And before I get off, I do want to give this example. You know how someone goes into the military and they're allowed to go and kill someone in Iraq. And excuse my language, I don't mean to say that in a way that's malicious at all. And let me rephrase that. Unalive is a term that people are using now. So when they go to Iraq or Pakistan and they have to unalive someone, those are called confirmed murders, right? And I want to say, like, so in a situation like if the FBI or CIA presented a case to a judge and said that this person was a threat to society and it was signed off by a judge, at this point, this person has no legal rights, I guess. But that's not necessarily true, because if I didn't have any legal rights, then I wouldn't be able to sue anyone, I wouldn't be able to charge anyone, etc. I'm allowed to do that. So, but they get it signed off by a judge, and there's an undercover investigation going on. So they say they term it investigation, but it's really not an investigation. It's just, I guess, it's a cover up. But it gets passed by a judge, and this person is surveilled. And if the person that is being surveilled end up becoming, like, let's say like they send someone to that person's house. Oh, this is where it gets kind of crazy, right? Because a lot of victims of this specific crime, group stalking, also known as gang stalking, they experience people breaking into their homes at night when they're sleeping. And or like whenever they're out shopping, whenever they're not present or sleeping basically, they experience break-in, and along with those break-ins, I can't necessarily say I know what these predators are doing when they come into the victim's home, but what I can't, and why I brought up the military thing and the confirmed murders is like, so basically, if they come into our home and they're given an assignment to take something from us or to investigate a situation, it's not just them investigating the situation. Let's say they see an attractive female, then they're just like, ooh, they get a little out of hand. And then they end up committing a crime. I don't think I have to go into detail. You guys kind of, if you have common sense, you get where I'm going with this. So that's what I'm trying to shed light on. These are the things that happen with the targeted individual programs. Um, I really feel bad for the victims who like don't the victims who don't know what's going on but are subject to these demonic and torture and scare tactics. Because there's a lot of others out there that are victims of this specific crime and they don't know. And me, it took a lot of research. I started researching like cops stalking people because I literally thought, I'm just like, it gotta be the cops. Like, who could possibly be doing the stuff that's happening to me? Like, who? I just couldn't put the two and two together. I'm like so confused. So I started doing research on Google, like cops stalking people, police being stalkers. And I came across a few YouTube videos with hundreds of thousands of views. I came across so many testimonies. But what really stuck out to me was the first one that I came across. It's by a woman named what is her name? What is her name? Oh my goodness, it started with a B. Bridget. Her name is Bridget. She had a blog on YouTube on Google. Her story was the one that I came across. She had went to a council meeting, and she had addressed her the crimes that she was subject to, and her being a victim of the group stalking and being placed on this surveillance list, illegal surveillance list. And she explained how she was raped, and how she woke up with handprints on her body. She had pictures. It was just, I can't even explain it. She had pictures and her body was scratched up. She had bruises all over her arms, all over in between her legs. And I was in disbelief. She was saying that she was being raped every day. She said her home was being broken into whenever she went to sleep. She would go days without sleeping, but whenever she would go to sleep, she was being sexually assaulted. She would wake up with cuts all over her body, bruises all over her body. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not the only one. Like, people tried to make it seem like there was something psychologically wrong with me, but I know that there wasn't. And I know that if there's at least more than 10 people saying that they're experiencing the same thing, then how can you call me delusional? It's not logical. So I started doing research, more research on Google, looking for groups, looking for other victims, started going to like meetings and things like that. And I came across like, probably met hundreds of victims, and they're all out of state. Like, a lot of them are out of state. There's some in Columbus, Ohio, where I'm at with me now. There's some out of state. And then there's some overseas. Is very interesting. But what I've noticed, because I am a protester and because I am very verbal and because I have a lot of legal knowledge, what they tend to do is like, if I connect with other targeted people, they will pay them to switch over and to turn against me, because I believe that I really may be a threat to these people. I don't see how I'm a threat, but the only way I could possibly be a threat to these people is if I carry information that they don't want me to share, or if I may know something or saw something that they don't want me to share with anybody. They don't want me to be in the public eye at all. And that's quite concerning for me. So I did want to say that I know like last year, um there is so many things that happened. And since I'm past 20 minutes, I'm not going to explain it on here. And I did say I was going to let it go. And then my goal was 20 minutes. And look at me still talking because all I do is talk. Um, but yeah, you guys kind of get the gist of everything. I just wanted to go ahead and share those experiences, a little bit of my testimony. I wanted to share about Bridget's blog and her being the first person that I found. Long story short, I ended up connecting with a lot of great people, mothers, business owners, rich people, broke people, and I had the most blessed friendships, support, and everything. And if it wasn't for God, I don't know what I would do. Those people were a blessing to me. I don't see how they were a threat to society because, if anything, they offered support, they offered comfort, financial support. Like, I mean, they were just, they were on fire. They were so loyal. They were just awesome. We talked every night. Like, these people are great people. I can't make it up. And my heart goes out to Bridget because I don't see her blogging or posting anymore. I don't remember when's the last time she posted or blogged, but if you go on my Instagram account, Madonna the Goat, Queen Pink Saffron, those are my two names, and Madonna the Goat is DA and then Goat. If you go on my Instagram account, you will actually see Bridget's post. I screenshotted everything. I saved all of it before they took down the website. That's what I wanted to mention. They actually took down the website after I found it. And then I ended up going to the Columbus Police Department page and I ended up finding that they have Secret Service from the White House working at the Columbus Police Department. I didn't even know Homeland Security and Secret Service worked in the police departments. Did y'all know that was a thing? They give all the information online. But as I was coming across all this information, they were just shutting down these websites. And I was just like confused, like, why would you be shutting them down if they didn't, if obviously they pose a threat, but if Bridget isn't doing anything bad and she's saying that she's a victim of a crime and she's waking up with bruises all over her body and she's saying that she was sexually assaulted, instead of taking down her page, why isn't an investigation being done? Weird. But there's another one named Ramon Robinson, and he is from Canton, Ohio. He was also a victim of sexual assault by someone who works within the system. I believe it was a judge, and he was also sexually abused in a church. And he decided he wanted to expose the professionals that work in these corporations, businesses, companies, whatever, however you want to label it. He wanted to expose them, and then he became subject to being a targeted person as well. So just kind of give you guys a little backstory. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have a good night. Just do your research. I'm not saying that we need people out here going crazy fighting for us. We already got petitions going and stuff like that. And all we got to do is start putting laws in place, and we just got to have the people behind us. And because the justice system can stand if we use it the right way, but some people just have pleasure watching people suffer, and we have some people that are in power that are just some sick-minded individuals and that justify what they're doing by saying, okay, this person is a threat to society, when in actuality they just have some sadistic fetishes and need psychological help. Yeah. On that note, you guys have a blessed night. Stay prayed up. And I'm out. Period.